That's a little chilly. Maybe I'll sit on my gloves. That's a little chilly. Hello, and welcome to Spirit Forest. It's a snowy day. Isn't this beautiful? I had to do the video today because I think this is so pretty. And I wanted to share it with you for a little bit. I have a video that's coming up here. This is a premiere video. So if you're new to what a premiere video means, it means that if you're watching this video as this video is posting, you can chat with me down below or to this side, I don't know which, or on your phone or whatever it is. There's a little box that says like live chat. And so click on that little link and come chat with me because I'd love to chat with you. I have a lot of changes to Spirit Forest and I've been kind of postponing this video a little bit because I was a little nervous to post it. But isn't this so cool? This is so peaceful and so cold. It's like, I think the last time I looked it was 18 degrees. I don't think I'm ready for winter yet. And in fact, I'm recording this, that was the day before, what is today? I don't even remember. It's the day before Halloween. This is crazy. It is crazy. The reason why I'm recording this now is not only does it look really pretty and I want to share it for you, but also because I'll be traveling for 2 weeks in November. And so that's why I'm trying to get all these videos done. So I hope you enjoy this video. This video was, I think, recorded about 2 months ago. So grab your popcorn. This video is about an hour long. So I'll see you up at Spirit Forest for my big announcement. Bye-bye. Is that a bee on me? Like I said, this video was recorded earlier. So you are watching this video a few months after this video was recorded. And hello, and welcome to Spirit Forest. So I've been really nervous about posting this video, and that is why it isn't posting till right now, because I'm just trying to think of the right words and the right thing to say. Somebody came by, so I had to shut off my camera. It's always embarrassing when I'm filming and somebody comes by. I'm like, hi, yeah, I got a camera pointed at me. Anyways, so let's talk about the future of Spirit Forest. I started it at my sign, so in case people that are new to my channel and they want to kind of see what my land looks like a little bit, they can see it. So let's go ahead and get that part started. This is my driveway. I put this driveway in, what was it, like 3 years ago now. This driveway has been here, so now it's kind of overgrowth. You can see there's some overgrowth on it, and it's there's grass growing on my driveway. And then my driveway kind of continues down into this area past the porta potty. And I have been living here in the summer months. And I'm sorry about my videography on this one. I don't have a selfie stick, and all I have is my tripod. So I've been living here in the summer months in a tent as many days as I possibly can. I do work in a city, so I do have to go into the city where internet is. There's no internet here. And I camp about 60 to 70 days a year out on this land that I own, which is 2 acres. And I camp out in the wilderness when I'm backpacking and such. So there you go. Now you're up to date. And I've been doing this for about 3 years. 2.5, 3 years, something like that. Okay, so let's journey down. Let's see. Again, you're on a tripod. For my human waste, I have a porta potty. Now I'm talking about all this stuff because I'm going to end up talking about this later. And then I have a little fire pit over here. So let me show you my little fire pit. So, and that's Rocky puking in the background, so don't worry about that. He's eating sticks again. So here is my fire pit, and I offer classes to to women. I offer wilderness classes to women where I teach them how to go out in the backcountry and learn about just kind of the area and learn how to backpack for their first time. So it's women that are brand new to the wilderness. There's another car coming by, but okay. So there is a street right behind me. Okay, let's continue on down. It's a lot harder to hold a tripod. So I have camping sites on my property, which maybe I'll point out later, or you can look at some of my videos too, and you could see. Up here is my kitchen. So this is my kitchen area. I have a table that I have dumpster dived and found some 2x4s. I have my bear bin, which is where I store all my food. I have kind of a bushcraft shading wall that's leaning up over here. And then I have my kitchen counter. That's where I put, right over here is where I put my stove and stuff. And you can see all my videos, and you'll be able to see me cooking up there. So check out those videos. And then I have a tent that I live in, and let me show you my tent. Da 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 da. I love my tent. I really do. It is my favorite thing that I have purchased in the last 4 years is this beautiful tent. And let's kind of tour around the tent just a little bit. I have a lot of videos on my tent, so I invite you to go check out my channel. My page has windows on it as well, and it has that front door which has the deck, and then we're working our way around to a back door. So there you go, there's the back door. Over in this area, I have it leaning out a little bit more. See those rails? And then I have my shower area. So I hang a shower bag there, take my shower there. And there's my dog having some water. And where I get his water is rainwater that comes off my roof and goes into this really nice barrel. You ought to also notice that I have some storage bins here where I keep some stuff that I can lock up. Mostly just gear, axes, knives, stuff like that. Okay, so now you're pretty much updated of my area a little bit. I have 2 acres. The majority of what I showed you was just on 1 acre. And so I have another acre that continues past the kitchen. And I'm gonna do some changes. And I would like to talk about those changes, and I'm kind of nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I have a lot of people that have been following my journey for, you know, this whole 3 seasons worth, and the 4th season's gonna be a little bit different. So where do I start? I'm trying to organize my thoughts, and I know this is probably gonna be a long video, but for those of you that have been waiting for this update, well, here it is. So I'm gonna start a little bit from the beginning because I don't know how else to start it. At the beginning, I bought some land, and my whole purpose for buying this land was that I was going to teach my daughters wilderness skills. And I brought him out here and we walked around multiple properties. This was the first property that I found and I fell in love with it right away. Like, I just knew. And it's funny because my, I don't know how old she was at the time, my little one, who's now 12 years old, it says, "Mom, this is it. This is the land." You know, and I told him we were just going to camp on it. But I've always had a dream to possibly build on it. And if you go to my about page on YouTube, or if you go to my website spiritforcebear.com, or if you go to my Instagram, possibly my Facebook too, my little tagline is, "I'm a single mom in the wilderness teaching my daughters and others wilderness skills and hopefully have a dream to build a cabin one day." So I bought this land. I have put this deck down that you saw. I put the tent on it. I have met so many people in this area, and the people in this area are just wonderful people that are looking for the same thing I'm looking for. They're just looking for peace and just quiet and get out of the city. And you know, that's what a lot of the people here are looking. I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of the people in the area, that's what they're looking for. So I really got along with a lot of the people here. And I went to one function, which was really funny because he was a builder and he invited me to come. So I went over there and he's like, "Oh, so what's your story?" And I told him I'm putting a tent up and I'm just planning on camping on my land. You see that bug? And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll hear from you in another 6 years or 4 years or something like that." And I was just like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Everyone who comes out here and they just say they want to camp," he's like, "I hear from them and they want to build a cabin." I'm just like, "Oh, really?" Well, I said, "Not me. No." I said, "I'm good. I'm fine with just a tent. I don't need any more than my tent. I'm totally fine with it." And so I've been camping on it for a while, and I've enjoyed this tent. I really, really love this tent. And I recommend it for anybody who's looking for a tent, little, I don't know what you call these kind of tents, canvas tent, you know. I really recommend it. It's a blast. It really is. It's a blast. And I've had my kids out here and I've taught them wilderness skills, and I've taught ladies wilderness skills, and some guys have taken some classes too, you know. So it's been a dream come true. It really has. So here we go. So you probably figure out what I'm gonna say. It's coming to that point where the county right now is not liking that people are putting up tents and staying on their property. So they are creating a lot of rules and regulations, and to me it's not fair, you know, because I'm really responsible. You saw that porta potty. That's why I took a little video of the porta potty at the beginning. You've seen my porta potty. Like, I have a plan for my human waste. I clean up after myself while I'm here. I maintain my property. But they're getting a little upset and creating more rules out here. So there are some people here and in other counties of Colorado. I think there's one. And if you research online, Google, if you research the flag guy, I think you might be able to find him that way. You research the flag guy, those are the people the county are not wanting. And they're trying to kick him off his land. He bought some land out here. So to give you an idea, the land here is pretty reasonable in price. I would say you could get a few acres for $5,000. And I have, and you can get an acre for $20,000. So it really kind of ranges, but it's reasonable. Like, ultimately for me, I'd love to be in Summit County, of Colorado. And that is near a lot of ski resorts. It's near a ton of hiking. It's really popular. So there's part of me that doesn't want that. But you know, now that I'm here, I actually like it better here. But when I first was looking, I really liked Summit County. Now, Summit County, the acres are about $350,000 per acre. Yeah. That's how much it cost. So out here it's really cheap. So you're getting people that, you know, we don't make a lot of money. So, you know, we're not, so we buy land out here, you know, and you'll get some people that are trying to live off that land, and they're going 100% off grid. And they're not managing their human waste, which means, like, for example, I think the flag guy in his interview, if you check out his interview, because they did an interview on him, he is pooping all over his land. And he has no trees either on his land. It's just all grass. And he's just going, he's like, hey, the cows are pooping over there. Why can't I poop over there? You know, so the county doesn't want that. And he's just one example of many in the area that are taking advantage of this whole like off-grid stuff and really not maintaining their land. Because you'll have an acre and then the next door acre, somebody's like, you know, they're pooping right on their acre, and acres are pretty close together if you only have 1 acre, right? So there's neighbors that are complaining about human waste being all over, and it just smells like, it smells, you know, and you don't really like that. Now, I'm not that person. Like, I'm very responsible. I have a plan for the human waste. Again, I clean up after my land, but because they have to make a law that encompasses everybody, I'm included in that. So I can't be out here without a dwelling for too much longer. It's coming. They have a lot of rules that they put in place, that I can only have a tent up for so much time. I have to have a permit. I have to prove to them that I have a porta potty. There's a part of me that likes this law because I wouldn't want, quote unquote, the flag guy right next to me, pooping 30 feet away from my tent, you know? And so, like, I understand the laws, but it's getting to the point where it's like every year they keep creating new laws. And it's just like, it's getting harder and harder for me to have my tent up because they're creating all these new laws because of these people that are just squatting. Is that what you call it? They squat on their own land. And they're not even creating houses. They're creating like they'll do a bushcraft shelter with just a tarp over it, you know, like, and I'm not trying to be mean, but like what you see in the city sometimes, that people that are homeless and how they built their house, and that's what they're doing out here. And so they got to create these laws to stop people from doing that. So it's getting to the point where I either have to build or take down the tent and just use a tent, like put up a tent every time I come out here. It's hard to talk about because I'm just trying to be nice about it, you know? Like, I'm trying to be nice. I would like to stay in my tent all the time. I would like to put a metal roof over my tent and just have the tent up year round. Ideally, that's what I want. I want that. But I can't have that. And I get a lot of people asking me, hey, you should do this, you should do that. I'm like, yeah, I should. Yeah. But I can't. So, because of the laws. Now, if I were to have a dwelling here, I can do whatever I want to this tent. I can put a metal roof over it. I could build a frame. You know, I could make a frame on it, and so the snow comes off of it. I could do whatever I want with this tent once I have a dwelling here. You see where I'm getting at? Okay, change position so you can see the tent again. I am nervous, very nervous. I've been stressed a lot this summer because I don't know what to do. So I have been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of planning. And if you've seen in some of my videos where I was just like, I got a lot of stuff going on, this is all part of the stuff that I have going on that I'm not filming until now. So I wanted to get a quote of what it would cost to build a cabin here. Because I'm curious, if I had a dwelling here, I could keep my tent up And then I'd have a little house, a little cabin that I could just stay in the wintertime. You know, so I was like, this would be fun, right? So, to get a quote, just to get a quote on how much it would cost to build here, I've had to spend a lot of money to do so. I've had to, because I go to the builder and I say, how much does it cost to build here? And they can give me a per square foot price, and I did get that. And I was like, okay, but they're like, well, it really depends. And I said, well, I just want like a 1-bedroom, maybe even a studio cabin. That's kind of what I was thinking, you know, somewhere just like this, but with walls, you know, so that way I have a dwelling here and I can do whatever I want on my land. If I feel like building a log cabin out of the wood that I have here, I could do that. I could totally do it because I have a dwelling. That's part of the rules. And I mean by log cabin, I meant like, you know, just like a storage shed type log cabin kind of thing, because I have a lot of wood here, and it's all aspen, but I have a lot of wood that I might be able to use, or anyways. So to get a quote, it costs a lot of money. So there's a commitment in getting a quote, because the builder's like, well, I need to know what your design of your cabin is before I can give you a quote. Okay, well then I need to get a well. That's required. From the county. I have to have a well. Well, actually, no, I think you can have a cistern too, but that doesn't make as much sense here. Like everybody here has a well. So I need a septic. Now that is required. I need a septic and a leach field. I need, you know, I thought about the power, like I could do solar power here, but south facing is up here in the winter time, and I have solar at my other house, and it doesn't do very well. That's another story for another time. And I've been here in the winter time, and the sun sets on my property about 3 something. There's no light after 3 o'clock. I don't think that I'm going to be able to produce enough power unless like I put it all out in the grassy area, and my whole grass area is solar panels, and that's not what I want either. So I have decided that I would go on grid. And don't judge me. No judgment. But I would decide that I would go on grid. That would be cheaper for me. And again, I'm a single mom, you guys. I don't have a ton of money, so I gotta go what's cheaper, and what's cheaper is on grid. So then I had to pay the power company to come out here and to give me an estimate. And I'm sorry, this is a long story. Like, watch it in parts if you want to. So I have to pay the power company just to come out here to give me an estimate. And then I have to figure out where my well is going to go compared to where my septic goes. And it has to be 200 feet away from each other. 1 acre is only 150 feet, somewhere around there. And then I have 2 acres. You know, so literally my well is on one side of the acre and my septic is on the other side of the other acre. If that makes any sense. So, and I'll probably talk about this kind of stuff in more detail in another video. I'm just kind of telling you what my plan is. So I'm in my kitchen now. I'm just walking around and kind of thinking like how I say it, and so I thought about a lot of things, you know what I mean, and I have like I'm alone, you guys. You know, and I'm like, I'm gonna be doing this alone, and if it's a little cabin, does it really matter? I mean, if anything, I can always sell it, and that's how I see it, is like I could always sell it. You know, it's not something that I'm throwing out thousands of dollars and I'll never get anything back. It's I'll be using it, and it's still worth, hopefully, what I build it for. You know what I mean? Like, that's the goal. So I could have money sitting in an account, or I can have money sitting in a cabin and using the cabin. Not that I have all the money sitting in an account, but I mean, obviously I'd have to get a loan, which I really wanted this property to be where I'd never have to have a loan. But I would most likely have to get a loan for this. Yeah. like a construction loan and then a regular loan. I don't know how that works yet. I'm not at that stage yet. So I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of thinking about, like, what do I want in my future? Like, what do I truly want? Like, how do I see my future? How do I want my future? And I know, we should all live day by day and live in the present moment, but there's times where it's like, you got to plan some things. Like, if you want to go somewhere, you got to buy a plane ticket to go there, right? So, like, I'm planning. I'm a planner. You guys know I'm a planner. So I'm planning this. And I'm thinking about, like, what would the cabin look like? And would I go out there? And what would that be like? And could I have internet? Could I work out there? Could I still be in the city so I can still have this would be more of like a vacation home type thing until, like, I'm ready to retire or the kids are out of high school, And let me talk about the kids and kind of the plan with that if I were to build out here. Long video, I know. The kids. They have to stay in the city. For those of you that don't know, I cannot move the kids up here. If I wanted to move up here full time, I would have to get a lawyer and take my ex-husband to court to be able to move the kids up here. I don't want to do that. I think it's very important for them to be around their dad as much as it's important for them to be around me. So we will always live in the same area until the kids are out of high school. And that is the plan. And we'd like to be able to keep them in the same high school or the same school system that they're in right now. They have all their friends there. And I realize it's important because part of my story was that I was gone I changed high schools my junior year. I ended up graduating with a bunch of people I didn't know, and I don't want to do that to my kids. I want them to have their friends, and I'll do whatever I can to have that. If for some reason I lose my job, that might be a different story, but the kids have to stay in the city. And Kyla, my little one, is in 6th grade. So I need to wait until she is out of high school in order to live up here full time. So I've thought about it, and I've thought about this for a long time. So this isn't something that it's new to you. Well, maybe it's not, because I talk about maybe one day I'll build a cabin, but this whole process is not new to me right now, because I've been thinking about it. I've been wondering, like, where would I put the cabin and what architect would I use. You have to have an architect. I don't have that skill. I can draw it out on a piece of paper and then I can give it to somebody, but I need someone to actually do the actual plans, and then I have to have an engineer to put their stamp on it. There's a lot of rules out here, and I know that I'm going to be asked, why don't you just build this cabin on your own? You have plenty of time. Build the cabin on your own. I don't have plenty of time, and I don't want to. So, in case you're asking me, build a cabin on your own, I don't want to. There's certain skills that I don't have. I am not an electrician. I am not a plumber. I can do a lot of the decor type stuff, like I can paint. I can possibly, ooh, did you see that? That was a bee. I could possibly put tile. I could probably do some sort of decor for tile and stuff. I don't know. I'm sure there's other things that I could do that are, and I can be a laborer. You know what I mean? Like, someone tells me how to do something, I'll come here and I'll do it. I could totally do that. But I don't plan on building this cabin by myself. These bees are like on me. And I don't have the skill for it, and I don't want to do it wrong. Now, I have talked to other people in the area that are doing it on their own, and I actually just recently I talked to a guy, and he's like, oh, I'm building my cabin on my own. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great, And I'm like, do you have building experience? He's like, not at all. I'm gonna do it on my own. And I'm like, really? And so he was in the process of digging out his septic. And I was like, oh, did you get the soil test done? He's like, I don't need to do that. I'm like, well, you do. You need to do that. Like, that's part of the rules. He says, oh, no, if you build it yourself, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see how his cabin goes. I don't know. I don't have that skill. I want it built right. I don't want to have that extra stress in my life of always having to research how to do something. And there's some simple things that I can do, and I'm gonna do that. There's some okay, builder. Let's talk about a builder. Okay, for a builder, I am pretty remote. I think I've mentioned this multiple times in my channel, but there isn't a gas station within, like, it takes me an hour to go get gas. Groceries takes me an hour. Everything is like an hour, half hour there, half hour back. So there's really nothing in my area, which also means there's no builders in my area. Well, there's 3 of them, and I have contacted all 3 and have talked to each one of them and have sent them, ooh, mosquito, and have sent them my ideas of how I want my cabin to look and how big I might want it, and I asked them all for feedback, you know, because I was like, I'm going to take advantage of, like, dealing with 3 builders and kind of see what their feedback is. So every one of them, God, this is going to be a long video. Every one of them said to me that do not build a small cabin, like a tiny home. Don't build a tiny home. And I was just like, what? Now, I wasn't planning a tiny home. I was planning somewhere between 800, was that a tiny home? 800 and 1100 square feet. That was my plan. Okay. So I said 1 bedroom, possibly just an open room with a bathroom cabin. And every one of them was like, don't do that. You won't get your money back. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, well, by the time you put in power, septic, and a well, your cost per square foot on your little cabin is a lot of money. And, you know, it made sense. And they were talking in more detail, and maybe I can do it in another video or something. This video is going to be too long anyway, so we can talk about it in another video, or I can do a, I think this video is I'm going to do a premiere on this one, so chat in the box below if you're actually watching this during a premiere. So, I'm nervous, you know? So then I'm like, okay, then I'll build a little bit bigger of a cabin. So that way, if for some reason, like I said, if for some reason I need to sell it, I can sell the cabin and I can get my money back. And that's kind of the goal. A lot of times, and again, this area isn't that popular, so it's not like I'm going to build a cabin and I'm going to gain a bunch of equity in this cabin. That's not going to happen. It's this area, basically what you build it for is what you end up selling it for. I am building this so that I can stay there in the wintertime. I'm building this so I can I'll still keep my tent up, you know, and I might rent out my tent, you know, like there's a whole bunch of different ideas that I have going in my head or maybe I'll rent out the cabin or something, you know, like there's a whole bunch of ideas I have. And so I was like, okay, so maybe I'll get a little bigger cabin, so that way, if I wanted to rent it out, it might be a better rental if I were to make it a little bigger. Now, I don't know for sure I'm going to rent it out. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, because I kind of want to live in it. It's kind of hard to live in it and rent it at the same time. But, okay. So, I talked to 3 builders, and they basically weeded themselves out. One guy was like, hey, I'll build your cabin, and he's like really cool, like he's like, he's like, I'll come over with hamburgers and a beer and we'll build it together. You know, that kind of like, I don't know, that kind of attitude, like, because he's built a ton of cabins here. He's like well known for this area, and I've actually met him multiple times, and he is a really cool guy, but he is older and he's retiring, so he's only building like 1 to 2 cabins or something a year. But you know, he's retiring, So he's kind of like, he's like, yeah, I'll get to it when I can, you know. It might be a little longer. And then another company was very strict and very like, we're gonna do it this way, and this is stage 1, and this is stage 2, and this is stage 3, and then I need to make sure I have this, and if I take a tree down, you gotta pay me this much. If I move this, you gotta pay me this much. And that's how he was talking to me, and I was just like, oh goodness, you know, and I gotta sign all this paperwork and stuff. And then I had another guy that came here, and he was still like, okay, we're gonna go through phase 1, and then we go through phase 2, and then we go through phase 3. And it's a husband and wife team. And so the wife would help me in designing it, because not the architecture part, but the interior part, like what kind of refrigerator you want, what kind of flooring do you want, what kind of, you know, that kind of stuff. So his wife helps out with that, and his job is basically to hire the contractors to come out here, make sure they're coming out here, make sure they're doing it right, and make sure they're showing up. And then I pay him a certain percentage on everything that he has hired. That's kind of the plan for that. So I chose builder number 3, and he is so cool, you guys. And I told him, I said, I have a YouTube channel, and I said, would you mind being on my YouTube channel one time? And he's like, what? You know, he seemed cool about it. No, he's a really cool guy. He really is. He lives up here in this area, and he's building like 12 cabins right now. So he's really busy right now, but so mine would be put down on the list, you know. And so his pricing was probably, everybody was about the same per square foot. And of course they're all same per square foot, but they don't know if I want granite countertops, I want plastic countertops, you know what I mean? They don't know if I want hardwood floors or laminate floors, you know. So there's a lot of things that can change in a cabin that makes it so that you can like reduce your price. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now I have my builder. He's come out here a couple times. Nice. Oh, he's so nice. He's really nice. And his wife is super nice too. And they've met my kids, and like he gave my kids all these little flashlights and stuff, you know. And I only had 3 to choose from, and honestly, I think I would have chose him anyways, even if I had more to choose from, because he's very open. He's like, you don't have to decide on this yet. You can decide on this later. We just kind of want to know this right now. And so he's going out right now and giving some prices and meeting people on my land where I can't do it because I'm working or I'm traveling, because I've been traveling abroad and stuff for work. So I haven't even been in the US. So he is helping me meeting people out here. And he knows all the people. Like, I think he told me there's like 4 electricians maybe. That's it. And like some of them are like, they're kind of more part-time, you know. But no, I'm really excited to work with him, because I think it would be really good. And okay, let's go to a different spot, and then we'll keep talking. You're so tiny. You're just so little. You're so tiny. Okay, so now I have my builder. Excited about that. Oh, really windy. I don't know. My camera's acting weird. Hold on, it's really windy. I'm blocking you. I'm trying. The weather's changing here now. It's getting colder. Okay, so I think maybe the wind went away. He is totally, like, he's just shoving his nose in my leg. For my Rocky fans out there. I don't know why it's got me so dark, so I think I need to change. Maybe go there. Okay, I'm gonna have to change positions. Hold on. There you go. Now we're better. The mosquito got me. Mosquitoes. I'm excited. I am. I'm excited, but very nervous. Very nervous. And the builder knows it. He knows that I'm nervous, because I told him, you know, I want to kind of keep around this price range. And I don't know if I'm going to tell you guys right now. I don't know. I think I'm going to keep that private. But I'm like, I want to keep around this price range. And he's like, okay, because it's really low. And of course I have all these dreams. I want a nice kitchen, you know, because there's nowhere to eat here, really. Like, to go out to eat, you have to drive an hour. So I'm like, I want to have a nice kitchen because I am going to be cooking food every day I'm here, you know, and if people come up here, we're going to be cooking food. So that's my thought. But anyways, it's, you know, when you have to stop yourself when you start getting into these dreams and stuff and be like, I want it to be big. You're like, sorry about that. My memory card went full. I've been talking too much lately in my camera. Where was I? Big. So it's really easy to go from like 800 square feet to like 1700 square feet, you know. And I have to be smart about this. I have to think that if I were to sell the cabin, what would make this cabin sell better if I needed to sell it. Now, selling cabins out here usually takes a while. Sorry, my nose itches. This is kind of like a live video. Not doing a lot of editing, but it's a premiere, so make sure you're commenting below or something. And it's a long premiere. So I think that I have to control myself, you know, and not get like a 4-bedroom cabin, because truly I don't need a 4-bedroom cabin. I am a realist, and I know that once my kids graduate high school, they are not coming to the cabin. They're going to be hanging out with their friends. They're going to be doing their own life and starting their own journey. Yeah, maybe every once in a while they come out here, but now this cabin's mine. It's for me, and I'm fully aware of that. But I want the girls to feel part of the process, and so I have changed my mind about what I want to build, and I've decided that I was going to build a 2-bedroom. And the reason for that is because it will sell better. That is why. So it gives me, for me, it gives me an out rather than just a studio or just a box with a roof. It gives me an out because then people might want to either rent it or they're going to want to buy it. And so that means that's more money. So now take that up a notch, you know. And so we named, my girls were part of the process a bit, you know, and they were there when I was meeting with an architect, and we've gone through some ideas and stuff, and I'll show you in some other videos kind of what my idea is for the cabin. But I think we're kind of narrowing it down to 1,100 square feet, somewhere around there. That's kind of the plan. And it's small. It's small. But it's taller, so it will go up a story, which I wasn't planning on doing that. I was planning on keeping everything at 1 story, but I'm gonna have a master like downstairs and a bedroom upstairs and a loft kind of thing. So both the girls will have their own spaces. And again, I'll go through some of that. And I was thinking, I went through a lot of different ideas and stuff, and the architect that I chose she's really cool. And I kind of like that she's a female too. I'm sorry. I just do, you know. Power to the girls. Yeah, I don't know. She was super nice and really good with my kids as they were telling her their ideas and stuff too. And it was a lot of fun working with her too. So currently the process that I'm in right now is trying to get a quote. That's kind of the process I'm in currently in this video, is I'm just trying to get a quote of how much is this going to really cost. I have an idea just based on square footage. I have talked to a loan agent for a construction loan. I have an idea of what like my monthly is going to be. So we're kind of in that process of, okay, now I need a quote. What is this all going to cost? Because, and of course they're asking me, like, okay, well, what kind of flooring do you want? I'm like, I don't know. Just want a cabin. Could you just build it? No. I'm sure that's a fun process for some people to pick all that stuff out. For me, it's stressful. So part of this quote is that I have to find out where the cabin's gonna go. I have 2 acres and it feels small for some reason. I don't know why, because when I first got here, when I first bought 1 acre, I'm like, look how big it is. Now I have 2 acres and I'm like, it's kind of small. Where am I gonna put a cabin? Nothing fits. So I've chosen a spot and I'm gonna tell you. And the reason why I had to choose a spot is because, again, I'm in the stage of trying to get a quote. And it depends how much it's gonna cost depending on how far it is away from the driveway. So the further away from the driveway the cabin is, the more the cabin costs. I'm learning all this new stuff because they have to redo the driveway. So they're gonna have to redo the driveway to bring it over where I'm at, because where I'm at is basically where the cabin's gonna be. I wanted an area that had a lot of dead trees, because you know me, I don't like cutting trees. And like, seriously, I don't think I can be here when they cut down trees, because they have to cut down trees in order to get in here. And because of all the new laws, and they've added more since I've been here, you have to have, how many feet? 20 feet around your cabin without trees. And that's for fire safety stuff. So 20 feet around your cabin without trees. So I had to choose a spot that was cheap enough from the driveway that had the most amount of dead trees. And honestly, it would probably be where my deck is at, but I'm gonna keep my tent. So, and I told him that, I said, I'm keeping my tent. So yeah, so let me show you. Do you want to know where? Let me give you a tour of where the cabin's gonna be. Okay, let me put you in perspective here of where we're at. That is my kitchen area. And can you see my tent? My tent's inside there. So the reason why I'm filming this so early is that they might be doing some work before this video posts. And so that's why I'm filming it now. Do you see that big stack of wood over there? That big stack of wood is where the cabin starts. So that is basically the front door, is this big stack of wood. And then, if I circle around, and I'm just trying to go slow, there's the baby Rockies. And there's my fire pit. And maybe you see my car somewhere in there. So the driveway is going to come down, possibly, because they're going to try to find a way to kill as little trees as possible. It's going to come down through the fire pit, because I can't have a fire anyways. So they're going to come down through the fire pit and past Rocky till right here. Okay, so I'm going to get on the other side of that wood stack there and show you how big the house is going to be, because we have it marked off. Okay, behind me is where the cabin's going to go. Number 1 goal is keep it reasonable in price. Number 2 goal, don't kill as many trees. Okay, so I had to find an area that didn't have a lot of trees that that I had to kill. And it's really hard because you've been on my land. If you're a subscriber of mine and you've seen my videos, I have a lot of trees. But I also wanted some privacy. I really did. I wanted privacy. Like, I could build my cabin right there in that grassy area that you guys see that's right on the road. I don't want to do that. I want to feel in the wilderness. I want to feel in the trees. I want to feel private. You know, like if I'm walking around in my PJs, I don't want everybody seeing me. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much, I'm going to have this wall of trees towards the road and a wall of trees on the top part of my property here. And then behind me is going to be my cabin. Okay, I'm going to try to give you a perspective. It's really hard. Now there is trees in here. I just chose an area that doesn't have a lot of live trees. So you're gonna see the trees that are gonna be cut, and let's not cry. Okay, okay. Let's do this. Oh, and spruce, I've heard, because of the fire risk here. Spruce is, which is that's the leaves that oh, you can't see it. Oh, you can't see it. It's the little pine. It's like a pine tree. Spruce is what's really bad for fire, because it has a lot of resin in it, and so the fires really go. So the fire department likes more aspen. So I might be planting aspen, or trying to save some aspen or something like that. Rocky, he's like sitting on me. Okay, let's let me show you. Okay, here's that wood stack. I was on the other side of that wood stack before, so now I'm on the other side, and my kitchen is over there. I don't know if you could see, there's a table right there, and that's my little kitchen area. That will be a driveway, so a way for me to turn my car around to go out, and then I'll have a driveway going off this way. Longer driveways cost a lot to not only maintain, but to get plowed. So I have to think about that as well, because I will need to plow. So do you see that little orange tag over here? Oh, do you remember my bushcraft shelter where I stayed the night in this during the winter one winter night? And that orange tag over there, that is the corner of the house on the downside. So that is the north side. And I'm going to try to go slow, and you'll see another orange tag. And Rocky's going to the bathroom over there. There's another. Try not to get Rocky in the photo. I don't know why he keeps going over there. There's another orange tag there. Okay, so let me step over this so you can see the distance. Where's the other orange tag? Is inside there. And then I'm just trying to give you the four corners. It is almost an exact square. The cabin design is almost an exact square. Okay, we're gonna look in the sun a bit, but there is the other orange tag. So now I'm gonna look up so that you could see the trees that are gonna end up being removed. You see how I have a lot of dead aspen here? Yeah, that's a lot of dead aspen. But they are going to have to dig more trenches and dig the septic. And I'm going to do a separate video on that. But the septic system is way inside there somewhere. And this would be like my backyard, and I want them to create a fire pit, because I want to be able to have an outdoor fire. And I can have to have 25 feet around my fire pit without any brush or trees. So the builder said that he was going to do that. Unfortunately, that one I think is the biggest tree that has to go. And it just kills me, but that spruce is gonna have to go, and there's another couple spruces over here that will probably have to go. This is my hardest part of making this decision, you know, is that I'm gonna have to cut some trees in order to build this cabin. But it's let's see, the 30 feet by 31 feet is the size of the cabin. So it's not huge. My kitchen will be right here. Now the exact position of the cabin, he says I don't have to finalize that yet, because they're going to remove a lot of the brush and stuff here first, and then I can position the cabin whichever way I want. East is facing this way. This way is south. I do have a lot of south facing windows, and east is this way, so most of my view will be this way. So when the sun comes up in the morning, it will really lighten up the house. And then west, which I really don't have a sunset view anyways on my property, really, unless I'm out in the grass. But I'm just gonna be inside this little wilderness area. That's kind of how I like it. And I want to be nested in the wilderness, so. Okay, now we're back to where we began. Go over there. You guys can see Rocky, maybe, I don't know. Timeline. Let me give you an idea, like for season 4, like what you're gonna expect. Is it only gonna be about my cabin? No, it is not. This is not a channel about building a cabin. I am going to obviously incorporate some of my cabin. I have debated on opening a different channel just for it, but I'm like, then I gotta maintain 2 different channels, and it's like, I don't want to do that. So, you okay, buddy? Look at him. What he's doing? Why are you whining? You look like you're having fun, but you're whining. Just so you know, he's going downhill. So he likes to slide down hills on his back. Are you done? Oh my goodness. Well, if it hurts, why are you doing it? Crazy? Okay. Sorry about that. This is like a live video because I'm not editing a lot of this, and hopefully you're in the chat and you're chatting with me. Okay, what was I talking about? Timeline. And what is it going to be like for 2000 or not 2004, the season 4? It takes, okay, make sure you get this. And I'm probably gonna, I probably lost a lot of people watching, but it takes 3 years to build a cabin here. 3 years. So I have 3 more years in that tent that I need to get away with from the county. Yeah, it takes a long time to build a cabin up here. There's not a lot, there's bad weather. You have a short building season. I have to work with a particular kind of bank that will allow me to have a construction loan for as long as I am going to have it. A lot of them say you can only have a construction loan for a year. So I have to sign all this paperwork because talking about the weather up here and how you have to, spider on my foot, how you have to, it takes 3 years. So is this year 1? I don't know. Maybe not. I know. It might start next year, in 2020. It all depends on scheduling and stuff. Because currently right now we're just trying to figure out where everything's going, and I'm trying to get a quote. Like I had to spend all this money to try to get a quote. I had to get an engineer. I got to get an architect. I had to do a soil test. I had to do all this stuff just to get a quote. So my videos aren't gonna just be about my cabin. You know, they're gonna be about, because the cabin's gonna take forever to build, they're gonna be about hiking and backpacking and such. They usually don't work on the weekends up here. At least that's what I'm told from the builder. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. No one's working on the weekends up here. I'm like, okay. So I have the weekends, and I'm mostly up here during the weekends, and I'll give you guys updates. It's really windy. Again, seasons are changing up here at Spirit Forest, so it gets really windy when it does. I'm going to be backpacking in season 4, probably a little bit more, because I might not want to be here. It's possible. And if you saw my video with my daughters in their last day camping, Madison wants to do a long backpacking trip. So we're going to do a long backpacking trip together because I'm going to honor that. See how well she does. But I will be helping out with the cabin as much as I can to save money. Like literally, like I will tell them, I will come up, you tell me what to do, how to do it, and I'll do it. I'm a worker, you know, like I'll do it. It's just, I don't know how to do everything, you know? So I will be their laborer in building my cabin. And I really want, I don't want you guys to leave, you know, because, well, my channel's really about my journey, and this is part of my journey. And I'm gonna need your help. I really am. I don't want you to leave because I need your help. And I need your help towards opinions. I need your help towards, like, ladies, you know, that like to decorate. Do I use this light or this light? Like, those kind of things is not in my, I don't know, you know, or should I put tile or should I put carpet? Should I put linoleum? Should I put, you know, what's the best kind? Like, I need your advice. So please don't leave my channel just because I'm building a cabin. That's why I'm scared to post this video, is that I thought that those of you might leave, you know, the ones that I created some good friendships, and I guess the ones that are good friends and good subscribers would stay anyways. But I just I would like your help. You know, I need your help because I'm doing this by myself. And anybody else I ask, and I'm not kidding you, anyone I ask, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this compared to this? They're like, I don't know, it's your cabin. And I'm like, but I need opinions. And of course I know I'll get like all different kinds of opinions from all of you, but I think it's gonna help me, and it's my dream, you know, and you could watch me and you could be there in the process, and I'm gonna have ways for you to help out, and you know, and maybe have like get-togethers. I don't know, like I have all these thoughts in my head right now, but I would like to build it with you. You know, and I will do some videos shortly here talking about, you know, the well and the septic and the cabin design, so you can see it, which is awesome. I'll give you a little hint, just a little hint. They're calling it a Viking cabin. That's a little hint. Okay, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, then you got the hint. Oh, it's windy. I'm gonna say goodbye. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for commenting on the premiere. For those of you that, I'm trying to protect you, for those of you that made the premiere, I appreciate it. It's always nice to be able to chat with you while my video posts. So I will talk to you guys on the next video. I am so excited, and I hope you can join me and help me. Help me. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.